Greetings, pen pals. We have a new brand of pen here. This is from Ellington Pens, and this was sent in for review. This is a pretty nice pen in terms of looks. We have a very deep red finish. This is sort of a metal pen with a sort of resin type coating over it that has sort of this like deep finish, which is really looks quite attractive and quite nice. It's pretty much a metal pen, so it weighs in at 35 grams, not a light pen at all. Pretty much a conventionally sized pen. Here it is sized up next to a Lamy Safari and a Pilot Metropolitan, so you can see size-wise it's pretty much in line with these popular pens. But it's really the finish that I think really stands out here. So we're talking about a very nice sort of layered sort of resin coating over the metal body of the pen. It has a very nice feel to it in terms of holding onto it and gripping, which we'll get to in a minute in more detail. In terms of the trim, it has a cap band that simply says Ellington on it, and a matching matches the trim on the base of the section, so you sort of get that double band effect there. Has a nice looking clip, nothing particularly dramatic about the look of the clip, but all in all is nice, and it is nice and functional. In terms of the cap, is an octagon shape that comes into a cone and is kind of has a very substantial look to it, almost quasi-industrial look, which I think looks very nice. It actually goes very well into the band on the top of the clip, and I think the way the top of the clip kind of matches the effect on the cap a little bit and looks pretty nice. The distal end of the pen is tapers and comes to a mostly flat, somewhat very slight conical cone end of the pen. It is a pull to uncap pen. It posts nicely and securely, no doubt due to this type of material, which I think is a little bit grippy. It does have a nice cap liner. I obviously haven't tested this over an extended period of time, but I would imagine that would keep the pen from drying out fairly well. And like I said, it does post and posts well. I tend to be a poster. It's not too long or too back heavy when posted. I personally think it's okay unposted. I kind of like a longer pen, but your case may vary. It's certainly long enough to use unposted, but like most of you know, I am a poster. It does have a smooth metal section. That is a deal breaker for a lot of people. A lot of people just simply cannot abide by a smooth metal section. Fine with me. It does have a little lip here and here. None of them are uncomfortable in any way, but if you really object to the non-grippiness of a smooth metal section, you might just have a problem with this. It has a relatively plain nib. It's a small number 5 size nib with a cursive uppercase E for Ellington engraved on the nib, and that's all that is engraved on the nib. And of course, it has an uninspiring plastic feed. The pen is cartridge converter, and a standard international converter, then a pretty nice one at that, is included with the pen. Now, in terms of packaging, this pen was actually packaged quite nicely as well. It comes in this box. This is Ellington Pens. This is very giftable. And in addition to the standard international converter, it did come with a small box of short standard international cartridges, which are again also pretty nice. So this is definitely a giftable item. It does come in a nice box. Well, I think that's all about I have to say about the parts and the exterior features of this pen. And as we all know, pens were meant to write. And I know you want to see this pen write, and I'm going to show you that right now. All right, folks, what we're writing with here today is the Ellington pen. And this has a steel nib. And it is not labeled, but I would call this a fine. It is quite smooth. It has very good flow. And I think it's very comfortable to write with. Again, smooth metal sections do not bother me. I really like the way that this material feels. I really think this feels great in the hand. I would have liked to perhaps seen this same material used on the section, because I think it would have provided a nice grip, because this is actually very, very comfortable to grip here, but unfortunately that's not where you grip a pen. So again, I'm personally fine with a smooth metal section. If you are, then you will very much be fine with this. Again, I do know smooth metal sections are a complete deal breaker for a lot of fountain pen enthusiasts, so thought I'd point that out. Like I said, this is quite smooth, writes very well. I would say it's probably above average wetness. I think it's got a very nice flow to it. All in all, a very, very nice pen. You know what also would be very, very nice? If you folks could please like, comment, share, and subscribe. That would all be very much appreciated by me. So that's pretty much the deal on this Ellington pen. Nice pen, writes well. That's a nice click, by the way. Very satisfying click on closing that. Don't take that for granted. There's a shockingly large number of pens don't have a nice satisfying click like that. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this Ellington pen. Let's talk about this ink now for a minute, shall we? All right, folks, this ink is Oster Astorquiza Rot. This is a brownish red ink from Robert Oster. I think it's probably quite similar to Monteverde Cherry Danish. Again, the red with that gets kind of brown to it. Here it is contrasted with some like pure reds, like a Waterman Audacious Red, which you can see is a much more popping red, or one of my favorites, Birmingham Fred Rogers Cardigan Red. And again, definitely leaning more towards the brown. Somewhat similar, and quite similar in fact, to Monteverde Cherry Danish, but that is Robert Oster Astorquiza Rot, a very, very nice ink. Well, folks, I think that will just about do it for this video. I sure hope you enjoyed watching it, because I sure enjoyed making it for you all. And as always, until we see each other again, have a great day. Bye-bye.